The investor arrived at 11 a.m. sharp. The founder's office was a refurbished old warehouse with glass walls, grey cement, and matte black furniture. Men in slim shirts hunched over screens in a shared space, their faces bright with purpose. The investor looked around until the founder appeared. A man full of confidence and determination, he offered a firm and solemn handshake. Apologies, said the investor. My partner will join us soon. I understand your time is valuable. The founder nodded curtly. He led the way to a conference room that looked out over the rows of men. The walls were lined with framed copyright certificates. A whiteboard was covered with code, with a header in bold black letters that said, Your time is now. The investor gestured around the workplace. All men? All men, said the founder. By choice? By design, said the founder, sitting down. It is for the company's good. We are a tight-knit team that works on loyalty and trust. Women don't exactly fit the equation. The investor raised a brow. That's quite a claim. It's not so much of a claim, said the founder. As experience, I can explain if you'd rather understand before walking out with your money. The investor leaned forward in his chair, chin resting on his knuckles. Go ahead. The founder sat back, exhaled, and began. You see, I'd always been different. The kind of boy who took things apart. Radios, fans, clocks, you name it, just to see what made them tick. I was well versed with computers by 16, mastered code by 18. I never cared for routine. I was restless, hungry, and I always had ideas. I started early, tried a lot of things. I've built apps, designed prototypes, written code that was ahead of its time. People didn't get me. Not my teachers, not my friends, and not even my parents. They said I was building castles in the air. But that is the curse of visionaries, isn't it? Asked the investor. So it is, said the founder. I had almost considered giving up. But 12 years ago, I had the idea. The one. The concept that was going to change everything. I was working a decent job then. It paid well and it had steady hours. But I knew I couldn't do both my job and my project simultaneously. So I quit my job. How did your family react? It mustn't have been nice, said the investor. Far from it. My father was furious. My mother was hysterical. But my wife was the worst. My then wife. She had a comfortable job at a bank. We were doing fine, so I went to her. Not to beg, but to pitch. I told her, invest in me. Not your money, but your faith. Be my partner in this. And? The founder scoffed. And? He paused, shaking his head. She said later. That she would invest in my idea. But later. As if? We both knew she was bidding her time. Throwing me off, I told her so. What did she say? She turned on me. Said I'd failed before. That I should see a pattern. Can you imagine? The person closest to me couldn't see that failure was the pattern of growth. I tried to explain to her that this idea was different. That this was it. She said I'd said such things before. Then I told her I'd already quit my job. She said, go back and get it. As if it's that simple. As if you can walk back to your boss and say, sorry sir, my wife doesn't support my dream. Can I please have my desk again? The founder snorted. She wanted me to work on my idea on the side. What side? Between 9-hour shifts and dinner plates. That's not how innovation works. I needed to go all in. I did go all in. And then what happened? What happened? Nagging, that's what. Constant lectures about bills, groceries, and rent. Mind you, she was one of those who claimed to be a strong, independent woman. She could have easily supported us for a while. I would have done it for her in a heartbeat. But she wouldn't. She said that I'd changed. Of course I'd changed. You don't build an empire thinking like a clerk. Then, one day, she told me she was done. That she couldn't do it anymore. That she had met someone else. That must have been rough, the investor said. I remember the moment, the taste in my mouth. I wanted to hit her. I didn't. I took it out on the walls, the furniture, and my hand. But I had to protect my self respect. So I told her to leave. And she did. The founder leaned forward, exhaled again, and smiled with grim satisfaction. You could say, that's why I don't work with women. I've learned two things. One, women don't understand innovation. They can't see the fire. They want safety, not vision. They measure worth in salaries, not in purpose. And two, women cannot be trusted. When they see something shinier, they go for it. That's biology, not bias. I see, said the investor. So I built this company my way. No drama, no mood swings, no two faces. All men, loyal men. You see the results. The investor smiled. When the founder finished, he took a slow breath. Thank you, he said simply. Now tell me, purely as a business question, why do you think this venture succeeded when your earlier ones didn't? The founder brightened. Because I never gave up. I kept refining the product until the market woke up. The idea was always great. The world just wasn't ready for it 12 years ago. Now it is. Exactly, said the investor. So, your past failures, were they really bad ideas or bad market timing? Unfortunate market timing, obviously. I was at least a decade ahead of my time. The investor nodded thoughtfully. And your ex wife, when she asked you to see a pattern, could it be that she was pointing at timing too? That you were always too early, too impulsive? That maybe you could have waited, kept your job, worked on your idea on the side until the market caught up? The founder frowned, irritation flashing. She would have left anyway. She would have said I was always too busy or something like that. That's what women do. And frankly, I'm glad she left. The investor smiled faintly. I'm glad too. A car stopped outside. The founder's phone buzzed. Uh, that must be your partner, he said, relieved to have been done with the small talk. They walked to the glass door. The founder adjusted his shirt, curious to meet the person who worked alongside the investor. Perhaps he was one of those sleek, confident older men who like to mentor new founders. But no such man stood outside. Two children in school uniforms popped out the sunroof of the car. They looked 10 years old, perhaps a little older. The founder hated children, especially when they were being raucous, as these two were. Let us come with you, please, one of the children said to a woman who had gotten out of the driver's passenger seat, her back to the warehouse door. The founder groaned internally. The woman couldn't even get to a meeting without picking up her children first, and he was supposed to make a deal with her. The woman said something indistinct to the children, and they got back down into the car. She bent to gather her things from the floor of the car as she gave instructions to the driver. There was something about the woman's voice. It felt irritatingly familiar to the founder, like he had heard it 100 times before. The car drove away. Then the woman turned. The founder froze. The woman met his gaze with a quiet civility that could slice marble. The investor's tone was cheerful. Sir, meet my partner in work and life, the one you've been waiting for. She's the one who vouched for your startup after tracking its progress and this sector for a while. The founder's voice cracked. You. Shall we start with the due diligence? The partner asked.
You've been listening to an audioM original.